every restaurant's going to have a POS. And I've cycled through a lot of them. I've researched a lot of them. I know more about it than I'd like to. Pretty much the gold standard right now is Toast, Square, and Clover. And honestly, for any startup, I'd probably recommend to go with them because you just don't know enough to do anything more complicated. The integrations on Toast are top notch. So like if you want, for example, DoorDash to directly integrate so that it automatically approves it and sends it to your kitchen seamlessly, it's a seamless technology that exists within the Toast kind of ecosystem. I left Toast because I just got a chapped ass. Again, it was one of those things. I joined Toast early, right when they'd come onto the West Coast. I had incredible experience and the partnerships that I had with the team there. And then there was this point where they were like, hey, we're going to start charging you way more and start digging your customers for online orders. And I'm like, what? Why? Like your service is already declining and you're charging me more. And that's just when I just got a bug up my ass. In hindsight, I probably should have stuck with them because even though their costs were going up, they still are best in class. From there, I'm now in a system called Revel, which is a little bit older. And with that, I have a tech stack that deploys. I have a SpendGo based loyalty system, value tech for gift cards, which again, like if you use Toast, you get kind of an all-in-one. Mm-hmm. I have a much more bifurcated system now where I have a lot of different vendors that I manage, which for me works because it's more complicated, but it works better for my business. I have to use Deliverect that now is my integrator that pushes menu between POS to DoorDash. So it's a lot of new tech companies and it gets really complicated. So I think for newer businesses, you're better off just sticking with one of the big guys and just dealing within their ecosystems for simplicity. And bigger businesses, you just have more options for enterprise level stuff. I'm sort of like in that spot of like, I'm not big yet. We're only at 4 units. If I had 20, I would be getting more into custom. So
I'm glad you mentioned custom. I think we're moving into a world with artificial intelligence and some of these tools that make tools now, that I really believe strongly in organizations, like you said, when the time is right and when the scale is right, building systems that are specific to their businesses. Because you get a POS system, and I was going to ask you, like, what are some of the things that you look for as a function of your POS?
Sure.
And it's collecting the data, being able to analyze the data, but Toast might not do it the way, if you have 20 units, you may know exactly how you want to receive that information, and that kind of speaks to, well, this gives me a reason to do it my own way, And,
yeah. And again, but that's just like the constraint of cost. Like it's good to have the all-in-one system in the early stages. It's less time to manage. Like I spent a lot of time as a CEO on tech stack management. Like you don't have that time even when you're a single unit operator, right? So like that's just like the trade-off that you have to make. Like even my POS is like currently not as good as I want it to be for like payroll, right? So I'm actually going to not use my POS, which it comes with the tools it comes with tools for inventory. I don't use it for inventory. It comes with tools for payroll and payroll analytics. And like, I just don't like how it does it. So I'm going to use ADPs because I already pay for ADP. So I get ADPs. So I'm actually going to switch from my employees clocking in through the POS through an ADP app. And again, like it's only over time that you get to make the statements. Like I really want my data to look exactly like this, that you get to be paid. But also you have to be so cautious not to start adding all the tech bells and whistles because you'll get in at an entry level cost. You're like, oh, that's only $1,000 a year. And then 6 years later, you're like, I'm spending 10,000. Like, how did that happen? Right. And so I'm currently in the cutting phase, but I'm about to switch back probably to adding again. It just kind of goes in cycles.
I think it should go in cycles too, because you got to test whether or not solutions work.
Sure.
As you add tools, you get, well, did this work? And if you're not dropping things that don't work and picking up new things to create solutions, then you're going to hit stagnation because you're going to have blocks from things that are no longer working. And you're going to have new technology that could be put in that could help you go that you're not utilizing. I love that you even just said, we're going to use ADP for our clock ins, clock out, because I think it unintentionally shows how much technology is involved and how much choice there is in restaurant operations. Because, for me, I don't even think, when I'm thinking about tech in restaurants, I'm thinking about, you know, how much data can my managers see so they know how to manage labor real time, or, managing inventory day to day, or, you know, are they wasting an extra hour because they have to write all the inventory down by hand, or are there solutions that they can, be putting inventory on there? Like, there's all these little things. And then you talk about, well, how they clock in, how you take orders, and then even just literally the technology of, like, on the make line. I mean, they make lines that have scales in them now, so that you can be like, there's so many points at which technology can impact your restaurant operations, but we don't think about restaurants as technical operations.
They're insanely complicated.